All right, I'm here with a look at my Nintendo Switch collection for the end of 2019. This is the Switch's technically third year on the market, um, and I would say that it's been a pretty solid year. A bit front loaded, or I guess a bit rear loaded, I should say. Um, the front of the year almost had nothing. I can't. I mean, there was Yoshi. I think was like the only game that came out the first half of the year of really any consequence. And then this the system started kicking into gear, and I'm pretty happy with where it ended up at the end of the year. But um, so I'd say overall pretty good year. I think pretty solid overall. Definitely an improvement over 2018, which I was not thrilled with. But we'll go through my collection now. Um, I will try. I've heard the comments. I will try to keep in mind to keep the game in frame the entire time I'm talking about it. So we'll just jump right into the collection. First up here is AI, the Somnium Files, which is a visual novel by the same creator of the Zero Escape franchise. So 999, Virtue's Last Reward. I've just recently started playing this. I'm about 10 hours in or so, and I really like it. It's really, really cool. If you're a, obviously, Zero Escape fan, but if you like Phoenix Wright, stuff like that, this is definitely worth a look. Really, really cool so far. Really enjoying it. Arms. Arms is a fun 3D fighting game with extendable arms. It has a lot of character. I think the characters in this game are great. A lot of fun. I really liked it. Obviously, it lacked a little bit in content, but I think it is a very, very fun game. I hope we get like a sequel or something, or if not a sequel, maybe some more expansions to the game later on. I don't really think. I think it's still $60, and I don't know if I'd recommend it for that. But if you can find a copy for maybe 40 or under, highly recommend it. I think it's a blast. I think it's a lot of fun. We have here now Astral Chain from Platinum Games, published by Nintendo. Really, really great action game. This one I have to go back to. It came out at a weird time, so I played a bunch of it and then dropped it. But I've got to get back to it because I really enjoyed everything about it. I'm a big Platinum Games fan. The best way I described it is this like maybe, I don't know, because Platinum has a lot of different kind of styles for their games now. This is probably closer to Bayonetta meets Nier Automata if you're looking for a Platinum comparison, and it's really solid. Probably the best looking game on the Switch as well. So if you are interested in graphics, um, that's probably the Switch's best looking game at the moment. Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. This is a crossover fighting game between, let me get it. I don't want to look. I'm not going to look. Ruby, which I believe is the Rooster Teeth show. Persona 4. Regular Blaze Blue, and Under Night in Birth, I believe. Am I right? I think I'm right. Blaze Blue is really solid. Arc System Works is probably the king of fighting games at the moment. And this is a very solid, great looking 2D fighter. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. This was actually my first time playing. This is my first time trying Skyrim out. I'd never played it back in the day. I'm not really into fantasy, especially like high fantasy more so. I can see why people like the game. It's really not for me though, but I'm glad I give it a shot. I mean, it's not bad. It's fun. There's a level of glitchiness to it, but I don't have any problem with it. It's just not really for me. This one's still sealed. This is Collection of Mana. I just got this over Black Friday. I haven't gotten a chance to pop it in yet. It has 3 games. Final Fantasy Adventure, which is the first in the Mana series, technically. We got it over here as Final Fantasy Adventure because it would obviously sell more copies than Seiken Densetsu. And we got Secret of Mana and then Seiken Densetsu 3. Now they call it Trials of Mana. And this is the first time we got Seiken Densetsu 3 in the United States officially released, so that's really cool. We're getting a remake of it next year as well for the PS4 and Switch, so that's awesome. Dragon Quest XI-S, Echoes of an Elusive Age. I held out from playing the PS4 one of this to play this version, and I didn't get too far into it. I really liked what I played, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm in for a huge RPG, like a 100-hour JRPG at the moment. It was kind of a busy time, so I didn't really have the time to commit to it. So I kind of set it aside. I plan on getting back to it soon, though. Sorry if the lighting's not so hot. Check out my last video. It's my game room tour. I kind of go over that. That video is doing really well, so thank you for that. But I go over how I don't have any ceiling lights at the moment, so the only light I'm getting in here is like a singular ceiling light and then some lamps. So if the lighting's not so great, I apologize for that. I'll move on now to Disgaea 5 Complete. This was a pretty close to launch Switch game, if not completely. Wasn't at launch. I think it was in like April of 17. This is a strategy RPG. I tried it, and I'm a big strategy RPG fan, but for some reason, this is going to sound crazy. I was not into it. I don't really like how the hit points are like in the millions. You do like 1,000,000 damage. So maybe I'll try it again, but I wasn't thrilled by what I played. Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster. I like Final Fantasy X a ton. I think it's great. I own it several times over now, and I'm happy to have it on Switch. Fire Emblem Three Houses. I was really blown away by Fire Emblem Three Houses. I kind of had low expectations going in. This was mostly developed by Koei Tecmo and not Intelligent Systems. Intelligent Systems, I don't believe, has too much work with HD games, especially not on this level. But they really knocked it out of the park with this one. I was very happy with it. The story I wasn't crazy about. I talked with a friend of mine, though, and he had played all of the different paths. I only played the Edelgard path, and I chose the school route. I don't want to go into spoilers, but I chose the school route. And my friend told me of all the paths, he played all of them, and he said that was the worst one story-wise. So it's a bit of a bummer, but I plan on jumping back in, maybe when there's a lull in game releases, and going through another route, because I had a blast with this game. It's one of my favorite Switch games. Also, Fire Emblem Warriors. This is a Fire Emblem Muso game. Also developed, at Koei Tecmo from Omega Force. And Muso is just Dynasty Warriors, and this is just Dynasty Warriors with a Fire Emblem skin. It's nothing too exciting. I also have Hyrule Warriors here. This one's still sealed. I played Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U, and I made it a personal collection goal of mine to have every Zelda game complete in box, and I count that as a Zelda game, so I'm just going to keep it sealed because I already played it on Wii U and on 3DS. L.A. Noire. I know this is kind of a contentious game. I know not a lot of people are crazy about it. I really like it, though. I'm not a big Rockstar fan either. I know Rockstar didn't develop it. They just published it. It was Team Bondi who developed it, who no longer exist. So that's a bit of a shame. But I think this game's great. I think it's really cool. I think it's really clever. And yeah, I'd say it's my favorite Rockstar game. I'm not really a Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead fan, though. So my opinion's probably terrible. All right, here, The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Really stellar game. I think it's really, really cool. I mean, there's nothing to say about this game that hasn't been already said. It's brilliant. There's so much cool stuff. There's so much cool stuff to discover. There's a few things that I'm not crazy about that kind of take it out. I love this back artwork, too. This is the copy you get if you got the special edition. No ESRB rating on it. So, and you get this cool artwork. But I'm not crazy about the Divine Beasts instead of dungeons. I wish we had classic Zelda dungeons instead, because that's one of my favorite things about Zelda. But everything else about this game is absolutely top-notch. Another great Zelda game, Link's Awakening. This Switch version was my first time playing through with Link's Awakening. I had messed around with it on the Game Boy version, but this was my first full playthrough of Link's Awakening, and I had a blast with it. It's really clever. It's really interesting. It's definitely a unique take on classic Zelda. And I think this is also a really great version of it, this HD remake version. Or HD remaster, more. I guess it's more of a remake. This is an awesome version of it. A lot of people ask, is it worth $60? I don't know. It's about a 13-hour experience, and it looks great. It plays great. It's a lot of fun. Depends on how much you're into Zelda, but I would say yes. Next up, we got Luigi's Mansion 3, another one of the best games of the year for the Switch. I think this game's a blast. It looks great. The animations are awesome. They gave so much character to Luigi and these other Mario and Egad and all these other characters. And I think the the Luigi's Mansion series is awesome. I really liked the second one on the 3DS, Dark Moon. I know a lot of people weren't crazy about that one, but I thought it was great. I think this one's great as well. Ton of fun. Great puzzle solving. Great ghost catching is fun. No real complaints there. I think it's great. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I think everyone's probably said that when they first heard about this game, they thought, okay, sounds stupid, sounds terrible. But this is a delightful strategy RPG with the Rabbids and with Mario. Don't really care for the Rabbids, but they were fun in this game. The Mario crew was fun in this game, and it's just a great strategy RPG. Great, one of the best surprises of the Switch is that Nintendo gave Mario over to Ubisoft to make a crossover game with the Rabbids. That's a strategy RPG like XCOM, and it turned out to be one of the best games on the platform. And since that game is technically a Ubisoft game and not a Nintendo published game, you can get it for really cheap. You can get it for I think it's like $20 anywhere now. So highly recommended if you've not played it. Next up is Mario Tennis Aces. This was a bit of a disappointment to me, honestly. It's fun. It's a great tennis game. I know a lot of people were disappointed by the Wii U game, which was pretty bad. There was one course, and this is a step up from that, but I still think it's lacking in content and not quite worth the $60 price tag. This was kind of where I lament the 3DS's kind of demise, because a lot of those games obviously were $40, and there was more of a $40 price point game that Nintendo was not really doing anything with. And I think Nintendo should release more of their Switch games as $40 games. Definitely like Mario Tennis Aces, and some people make the argument for Link's Awakening and stuff like that. I think their ARMS should have been $40. There is a $40 game range that I think should be brought back that we currently don't have. And they even did it a little bit on the Wii U with like Captain Toad, which I know they brought to the Switch, but we need that $40 price point back. There's a lot of games that I haven't picked up because I think they should probably be cheaper. I don't think the Wii U, re-releases should be $60 either. That's being said, though, Mario Kart 8 Wii U release, $60, sold a ton of copies. So obviously, what do I know? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, fantastic. This is my favorite Mario Kart. It is a joy to play. I've talked about Mario Kart 8 across the Switch collections and all the Wii U collections now for probably 8 times. So, there's nothing more you can say. Mario Kart. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, the Black Order. Let me try that one again. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, the Black Order. This was a lot of fun. I had a blast with this game. This is another game developed by Koei Tecmo, guys at Team Ninja, and published by Nintendo, which is weird since this was used to Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 were published by Activision. But this game's awesome. This game's a lot of fun. Great amount of characters. A lot of kind of deeper pulls too. They don't just go, you're not just getting Iron Man and Spider-Man. They got a lot of cool characters in there. And I think the gameplay's fun. It has a cool loop to it. There's a lot of good leveling up. It's a fun little, beat 'em up, almost kind of like Diablo-ish kind of grinding game as well. If you've played 1 or 2, this is, a great, great third entry. And a game I wouldn't have never have guessed would exist maybe about a year ago. A little over a year ago, because it was announced about a year ago. But if you would tell me maybe halfway through 2018 that Marvel Ultimate Alliance is coming back, it's going to be developed in Japan by Team Ninja and published by Nintendo as a Switch exclusive, I don't know if I would have believed that. But here we are. Mega Man 11. I'm a big Mega Man fan, as you guys can probably tell by my channel or icon. And I don't know, this one's okay. I was a little bit disappointed by it, but it's still solid. I like this. I like that Mega Man's back. I like the art style, actually. I didn't like it when it first got announced, but seeing an emotion game, I think it looks good. I just don't think that it's spectacular. I'd probably say it's better than Mega Man 1 and Mega Man 7 and 8, probably. but not too many other ones. I don't think it's better than any of the other NES ones. Um, which, speaking of, got here Mega Man Legacy Collection and Mega Man Legacy Collection 2. Fantastic little package here. All 10 of the classic style Mega Man games. Uh, it's a bit of a bummer that you can't just get them all on one cartridge, and that Legacy Collection 2 has to be a download, which is weird. That was a really bonehead move. I don't really like that at all. But, I mean, you get Mega Man 1 through 6 still on the cartridge, and those are the ones most worth playing. 9 and 10 are also great as well, so great package, though. We also got the X collection, X and X2. Since there was never, I don't get why this isn't just X collection and it has all of them, because there was never a Mega Man Legacy X. There was never a Mega Man X Legacy collection, so I don't know why we didn't just get all of these on one cartridge as the Mega Man X Legacy collection. But still a good set. I'm not quite as attached to the Mega Man X games. They're good, but I don't like them as much as classic Mega Man. I mean, I don't think they compare. Especially not some of those later X games. Those like the PS2 ones, not so hot. Next up here, Night Trap. This is still sealed. This is a limited run release. This is the only time I've ever done a limited run game. I don't know. I'm not too interested in limited run, but I think this is cool to get. It's funny how back in the day, Howard Lincoln said Night Trap will never be on a Nintendo system. And, obviously now it is. Maybe not that funny. I doubt Howard Lincoln cares anymore. He has nothing to do with games anymore. He's at the Mariners, I believe. So probably not that interesting, but fun piece of history. Cool to have. Octopath Traveler. This game was a bit of a disappointment to me. Big JRPG fan, but this one, I just felt it was boring. It looked great. I liked that art style, that 2D, I think they called it 2D HD. I mean, that art style was awesome, but I mean, I don't know. Was not too interested in it. I felt like it was a little bit too slow, and I don't know. Maybe it gets better as you go on. Maybe I should give it another shot, but I just didn't care for what I played. I gave it like probably 10 hours though, so I feel like that should be enough, but maybe not. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. I had a lot of fun with this. Eevee's my favorite Pokemon, so of course I got to get him. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. It's not traditional Pokemon, but I think it was a good experience. I think it's a worthwhile experience. I mean, I'm not the hardcore Pokemon fan anymore. I haven't really delved into a Pokemon game hardcore since like White. So, Black and White. So, I mean, there's that opinion to take. But for what it is, I think it's fun. I think it's definitely good, like, first introduction for someone playing Pokemon, obviously, since it's a Gen 1 remake. It definitely would be good for kids since it's a little simple. But, fun time overall. Got here Pokemon Sword and Shield. I got the double pack. What I do with the Pokemons most of the time, especially the mainline ones, is I always get the double pack and then keep one sealed for the collection. So I put my time into Pokemon Sword. I've been playing it now, and I like it. I think it's perfectly fine as a Pokemon game. It's good. I like the quality of life. I know there were some complaints about it. Not having all the Pokemon is a bit lame, but it's to be expected for a game that is, such a huge change for the series. I mean, finally going HD, finally going on to consoles. It is a big change. But I mean, I think it's fun. I think it's Pokemon. Like I said, I like the quality of life. I heard it's way shorter than a lot of the Pokemon games. I had a friend who beat it like 12 hours. So this will probably be the first one I beat since, I guess I beat, I think I beat Let's Go, but this will be the first mainline one I beat, I should say, since Pokemon White. South Park, The Fractured Butthole. This is, believe it or not, this is a pretty great strategy RPG for the Switch, even whether or not you like South Park. It's really funny. I don't watch South Park. I don't watch television at all, hardly. So I don't have any real affinity to South Park. I know South Park, but I'm not like a mega fan by any means. But I don't know. I had a great time with this. It's great on Switch. I know it was released on other platforms first, but it's really great on Switch. And it's a ton of fun as an RPG, and it's funny. I think it's pretty solid. Splatoon 2. I like the concept of Splatoon. I think it's great. I think it's a lot of fun. Splatoon 2, a bit of a disappointment in the online department. The online is terrible. It's really hard to be able to match up and play with friends. There's not really a great way to do that. Obviously, all the stuff with the Nintendo Online app is awful. But, I mean, as a game, I like the single player that they do for these. I think they're pretty fun. And it's still fun. I mean, it's still fun to just jump into a match every once in a while. Another problem I have with it is that anytime I play it, it feels like every other game I get a disconnect, or I'll get like 2 disconnects. So my team has, instead of 4 people, has like 2 or 3. So it feels like there's always people disconnecting, and like my team will just get obliterated because someone like DQ'd, which sucks. But I mean, the online's a bit disappointing, and I feel like I expect better out of Nintendo. I know they've never been great with online stuff, but I feel like I expect better. I mean, they've been doing online since, technically the GameCube, but online is an actual feature since the Wii, which is, almost 14 years old now. So I feel like they should be improving in there. I feel like they've gotten worse since the Wii U with online, but that's another topic for another day. Starlink Battle for Atlas. This is still sealed. I got this on Black Friday for like $10. And I mainly got it because the R-Wing in there is cool. It has like some Star Fox content. I've heard the game's all right. It was a massive bomb, but I heard the game is all right. I don't know if I'll ever get around to it, but the little R-Wing figure was cool. I say that's worth the $10. Super Bomberman R. This was a launch title. I think this artwork awesome. It's weird that they have to put 33rd anniversary on. Who knows? But this artwork's great. I just dropped it. This is a fun Bomberman game. I mean, if you want like a fun multiplayer Bomberman game on there, this is it. Bomberman's kind of been dormant for a while, so it's good to see him back. And I think this game is solid enough as a Bomberman game. There's not really a great amount of single player content or anything, but if you wanted just a fun game to play, I was like a party game, I'd recommend this. I think you can probably get it for cheap now, and they added like a bunch of new content after release. They added like a snake Bomberman and like a pyramid head Bomberman. So keep updating it. I like it. I think it's fun. Super Mario Odyssey. This might be my favorite 3D Mario game. I was really blown away by this. I think it's so much fun. The worlds are so great. And I don't know, I like Mario's movement is stellar. I think all the different moves he has and the way he moves, and just so fluid and so awesome. This game's a blast. It looks great. It plays great. I mean, just absolutely stellar. Super Mario Party. This is a pretty good return to form for Mario Party after 9 and 10. I feel were absolute duds. 8 has its problems too. Mainly that it's a GameCube game that was ported to the Wii as like a rush job. But it's still fun. But I think 9 and 10 are just absolutely devoid of fun in any way. This one's fun. A little light on content. I can't believe they didn't add any like DLC boards or anything. But pretty good. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I mean, there's not much you can say about Smash Ultimate that's not already been said. Roster is awesome. So cool they got everyone back. And the DLC, I mean, is so far 4 for 4 with really cool characters. Banjo is probably my most wanted character that I thought was realistic. And he's in there now. Joker, obviously, is really exciting because I'm a Persona fan. Hero's cool. Dragon Quest's great. Even Terry, who I'm not a huge fighting game fan outside of Smash Brothers, is still a great addition. So really happy with it. Really excited to see where they go with the remaining fighter of the first pass and of the Fighter Pass 2. So really excited to see where they go from there. Sushi Striker, Way of the Sushido. I got this for like $10. I hear it's a pretty fun game. Haven't played it yet. Developed by Indie Zero. They did like Retro Game Challenge, and they actually did Personal Trainer Cooking on DS as well, which is awesome. Just got this one recently for $15. Haven't tried it out yet. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. I didn't hear the best things about this one, so I figured I might just skip it. But then I heard that No More Heroes 3 is going to... I heard it's not that bad, and No More Heroes 3 is going to like build off this game a lot. So I figured, $15, I probably should just pick it up and check it out. Undertale, this one I got kind of on impulse. I didn't know they made a physical of it for Switch. And just kept it sealed. I played it through on Vita actually when that came out a couple years ago on PlayStation. And I really like it. I think it's really clever. The music's great. It's really funny. Definitely a really special game. I know it gets a lot of hate now because it's cool to hate, I guess. But I mean, it's awesome. And obviously, Toby Fox is a very talented developer. Valkyria Chronicles 4. This is probably one of the greatest hidden gems on the Switch. It's also on the Xbox One and PS4. This is awesome. This is a strategy RPG, kind of Fire Emblem-y, but you get free range on the map, and then you have to use your kind of energy going around. It's so good. Valkyria Chronicles is so good. You guys got to play them. The first one is on the... You don't have to play them in order. You can pick up 4 and play it. You don't really need to know the story. First one is also on the Switch, and it is also extremely good. I never played 2, and I never played 3. 3 never came out in the United States, so you don't need to play them in order. 2 is kind of drastically different. It's on PSP. But Valkyria Chronicles 1 and 4, both on the Switch, they come very highly recommended from me. Valkyria Chronicles 4 especially, I kind of skipped it when it first came out. I bought it when it first came out, and then I didn't play it. And I started playing it like February, and I was just really floored by it. I think it's fantastic, and it is just so, so good. The World Ends With You Final Mix. I got this cheap on Amazon. I haven't opened it yet. I played a little bit on the one on DS, and it feels like something I should really like, but it didn't really grab me. So I wanted to try it again, although I hear this is not probably the best way to play it. So I might go back to the DS one, but still good to have for the collection. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This is the steelbook that came with the special edition. I don't really like it, though, because it doesn't have a spine of what it is, which is kind of a shame. But I liked this game a lot. I think the first Xenoblade Chronicles is far away the better game, and it's one of the best RPGs of the decade. It's stellar. That game's awesome. But this is still really good, really fun, and I really like how it changed the UI to be a little bit easier to use, because I hated the UI in Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and in X. I thought it was probably the biggest thing pulling that game back from being great. So I liked it. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, good. Finishing off with Yoshi's Crafted World. This is the most underwhelming game probably of this year for the Switch that I played. It's not bad. It's really bland, not very interesting. I didn't even finish it because I just was kind of bored when playing it. It was not great. And it feels like a big step down after Woolly World, which I thought was pretty good, actually. I thought that game was really fun, but I was not in any way thrilled by Yoshi's Crappy World. So that's my Switch collection. There's some titles I'm missing. I don't have Mario Maker 2. I wasn't really huge into the first one. It's a really cool idea, a really cool game. I'm just not really into making levels, and I'm not really into trying to dig through crappy levels to find a diamond in the rough. I also don't have some of the Wii U re-releases. I have them on Wii U. So if you want to see what I think about those games, watch my Wii U collection video. I think the last one I did was 2017 was the most updated one. I'll talk about those games in there because I think I have all of the ones that have been ported to the Switch. So on Wii U, and I've played them. So that were probably where those would be. But I just can't justify paying $60 for like Bayonetta 2 or Donkey Kong Country Returns. Those are both great games that I want to play again and I would like to have on the Switch, but I can't justify paying that for them. So for now, I don't have them. Maybe one day though. But yeah, that is my Switch collection for 2019. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below. Follow me on Twitter at ObjoGaming. Check out the Game Room Tour. Just went up last week. It's doing really well for the channel, so I really appreciate that. Be sure to check that out soon and kind of get an idea of what is going on with the Game Room, what's going on with the channel there. And until next time, I'll see you.